Hello, fellow YouTubers. Just got my Bromlin Gun Leather MaxCon 5 in the mail for my Glock 19. I was going to do a video real quick and upload it on unpackaging, and I got some requests for how to do the instructions too on it, so I was going to do that as well. So right off the bat, you can tell they're pretty professional. I'll let you see the holster here in a second, but it comes in the bag and everything. Phone number, information, website if you need it. So and there's the holster, and it's pretty nice. I mean, look at the finish on it and the stitching. And it's real tight and good looking. And it comes with instructions, and here's the instructions. Any of his products come with these instructions on breaking in the holster, because it's molded so tight for retention. And it tells you roughly what to do. 2 layers of wax paper, and I highly encourage you to read these instructions and to do them. Otherwise, your firearm you will have a problem getting it out of the holster if you don't do it. So I actually have done this once already, but I got a new piece of wax paper. The video got deleted, so I wanted to show you again how to do it. But here's my firearm. Here's my Glock 19, and it's not got a magazine in it, and the chamber's clear. I checked it twice now. So I just wrapped it around the metal portion, 2 layers thick. And it's not rocket science. I mean, if it's a little bit more, it's not a big deal. You just don't want a glob on the front going down inside of the holster. But again, it's not rocket science. So you just take it and then insert it into the holster like so. And just push it in. That's it. It's done. And you just the instructions are more specific on how many times you have to withdraw the weapon and in and out, and how long you need to leave it in there and everything. Just read the instructions again. But that's pretty much it. So I wanted to also say real quick, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's a MaxCon 5 holster. And MaxCon stands for maximum concealment. So I actually have an older MaxCon 5, and I talked to Gary on the phone before purchasing the newer one, and he told me that he had made some design changes for comfort and other things. I'll explain that in depth in a second. But this is a 7-year-old holster, and I wear it daily, and it is still in immaculate shape. I mean, look at it. The retention's still good. It bounces back, and it's just overall still really awesome holster. Inside the waistband, of course. The differences he had told me about were he has, I call it slimlining. I don't think he'd call it that. But he has basically taken the front piece of leather and made it larger or wider to move the weapon further away from your body in the holster. And this recess here is to allow you to, allow the leather to do that, rather. You can see here, this is the back piece of leather. This is the front piece of leather. So, and that's what that's for. It's for comfort, obviously, because it gets a little further away from your body. And it also allows for easier reholstering one-handed. So that was something I was really interested in. This holster is already, this is the old one. This one's already very comfortable. I've had to be reminded by my wife that I'm actually wearing it because I've forgotten I've worn it. But it's hard to imagine it being any nicer and everything. But that's it there, break-in comparison to holsters. He also, I talked to him on the phone. When I bought this, I had got one of these not too long after. It's a spare mag pouch, and he had talked me in and sold me on it before that you do need a spare mag pouch on your persons when you're carrying concealed. The magazine and the weapon is just not sufficient for you know, anybody that values their life. So, and this is the newer mag pouch. It's a little bit different setup than the older one I had. So, but it just goes on your belt there, and I mean that's pretty much it. I did talk to him. I'm thinking about going back and talking to him about getting a double mag pouch. He does manufacture single and double mag pouches for any holster he manufactures for any weapon he manufactures a holster for, rather. So that's available. And I wanted to mention real quick too. I had somebody talking to me or asking me about the metal bands, lip bands in the edge of the holster here. For retention purposes, and I talked to Mr. Bromlin about that, and he had told me that the reason he doesn't do it, because they're not in any of his holsters, the reason he doesn't do it is if you take your weapon out to use it and you get in a confrontation, you fall down flat on this, it'll basically bend the metal shut and you won't be able to reholster the weapon again. So that was, he sold me on that, because that's actually a really good point. So I also wanted to show you real quick, I've got a friend's holster he carries all the time, every day still. This is about a 12-year-old Bromlin Gun Leather MaxCon 5 for a Glock 17. You can see the finish is not the same because it's 12 years old. I mean, he's been sweating on it and he's been wearing it, and it's broke in already too. There is a slight break in to your body, the contours. That's the nice thing about leather too versus Kydex. This is stuff I learned with Gary on the phone that he told me about, and I found it to be absolutely true because I've carried uncomfortable Kydex holsters before. But as you can see, he's sweat on this and everything like that and wore the finish down, but it still has retention and functions just like the day he had it. I mean, it just doesn't look as nice. You know, there's little wear and stuff like that here. Belt loops function still to come off and on and reseat and everything. 12-year-old holster. It wears it every single day. I mean, this is his primary carry holster. So I thought that was worth mentioning when getting his holsters. This one is 7 years old, and look, the finish is still good on it. So I can't wait to try this out. I will try to do a follow-up review because obviously you can tell the differences between this one and this one. This one's slimmer, and I can't wait to put it on, but you can see the dimensions and everything where he did trim it down for comfort. So I'm going to try and do a follow-up on that. Real fast, if you need, I found out about him by accident. I was just strolling along online, and I found Bromlin Gun Leather products, and I wanted to call and talk to him, and he's a super nice guy, super down-to-earth guy. Answer any questions that he can for you, help you any way he can, obviously within reason. But his phone number is on all of his packaging. It's on his website too. You can go to bromlingunleather.com, and he also has a DEFCON, which stands for defensive carry, for those guys that like to carry outside the waistband, and those are extremely comfortable as well. So he makes just high-end products. I mean, you can tell. Look at all the quality, the finish, the stitching, the molding. I mean, just beautiful holsters. So, and they're so functional and comfortable. So that's my review. I will go ahead and do a follow-up on this, and if you have any questions, go ahead, feel free to comment in the remarks below, and go ahead and subscribe and like if you are happy and pleased or learned anything. Thank you.